Okay, so we're going to graph the second polynomial function. So again, I'm going to turn my calculator on. And I can push clear even though I've already graphed the previous one. And again, just to be safe, I'm just going to clear all the lists. I do that every time just so I can make sure that it's done and there's nothing interfering with the results I get. And when I go to y equals, my previous equation is going to still be in there. So I'm going to clear it. And then I'm going to enter this function instead. So remember I mentioned to you that this is a minus sign, but this is a negative sign. Okay, and it's negative because it's in front of, at the beginning of the function. So the difference is that on the calculator, this button right here is the negative button. It's got parentheses around it. This is the minus button. So when I enter this in, I'm going to do negative x caret button. Caret button tells me to put an exponent in there. And the exponent on that one is a 3. And then I'm going to do minus x squared, so square it. And you can also push the x squared button after you type in an x, but I'm just going to keep it the same by doing it all the same way. And then plus 6x. Okay, now one more thing about the display on this one. Some calculators that have an updated software, or some calculators just that are a different type of calculator in general, sometimes display the exponents differently. So when you push this button, this caret button, what's going to happen is this cursor is going to jump up. And so you won't see the caret button, you'll just see a cursor up here. And then that's where you're going to type in your 3. So that one will actually look like a real exponent. The problem is when this little flashing cursor is up here and you've entered a 3 and then you now want to put minus and do the rest of the function, if you don't tell the calculator to come back down, it will put the rest of the function up here in the exponent. So once it's flashing up there, if you've entered an exponent and you want to make it come back down, you're going to have to push the right or the right arrow button, which mine's not going to do it because I don't have that, but you're going to push the right button and it'll move the cursor and it'll be back big again and it'll be down here for you to enter the rest. And you'll have to do that anytime that you have an exponent. So anytime you hit that caret button, some calculators don't show the caret button, they just jump it up. And when it's jumped up, you got to tell it to come back down. And so that's what this arrow, the right arrow, is for. Okay? So let's go ahead and graph this. So I'm going to push graph. It's thinking. And then it finally shows me. Okay? So remember what I told you the last time. Our first goal is to find where the points are where it touches the x-axis, because that'll make the sketching a little easier. So it looks like -3, 0, and 2. So that's what I have here. -3, 0, and 2. And then I want to do this minimum and this maximum. So if I come back, and again, I've already drawn it, but you would just start with this. So the minimum is way down here, and that looks to be maybe halfway in between the -1 and the -2. So, and it looks to come down to right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 down, so -8. So -1.5 and -8. So that's where I have it. -1.5 and down to -8. And I'm going to do the maximum. It looks like it's over 1 and it's up 4. I know it's hard to see, but it's probably 1, 2, 3, or maybe it isn't. Yeah, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe 1, 4. So that's where I have it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just looking for a general sketch. Okay, so then we'll talk a little bit more in the next video about finding maximums and minimums.